Battle in the castle town. Oh, we can already see there's just a big... Oh yeah, there's also... sometimes there's breakables in the air. Oh, am I not on the right stage? Or maybe that's just not breakable. No, I don't think that's breakable. Sometimes there are things like chandeliers and stuff that are breakable. Oh yeah, I want to just send them back to normal. Oh, now there's just a bunch of these scoobas. Oh, damn it, they're always just... I'm never gonna be able to do that. I've had it before, I've been able to get like 5 in the air. But it's been a while since I've played this, and even a longer while since I've played as Han. Because last couple times I played it on 360 as Serena. Oh, he did dead. I tried to do a big old charge through him. Yeah, Han's a pretty boring character to play. I mean, I have demonstrated he has quite a bit of moves. But compared to Serena, it's just not a whole lot. This guy blocks an awful lot. Oh, he's getting out of the way of my charge. Why are you guys so hard to charge at? Look at that. It's right under him. And then the fucking Golden Knight throws him into me, stunning me briefly. That's a huge thing. Like, if you're playing multiplayer, you really need to kind of coordinate, like, hey, stay off my stage so you don't fling enemies at me or zap me by accident. Because that can happen an awful lot. Also, I think those ones that show up before the battle starts, I think if you just avoid their stage, you can just avoid fighting them. Because I don't think, like, enemies that are just standing there idle won't notice you until you approach them. Ooh, that was bad. You could tell by that charge up what that was going to be like. Oh, now we're fighting mechs again. Happy to see some mechs come back. Here we go. There we go. At least I got 2 in the air that time. And then juggled a whole bunch for no fucking reason. As you might have been able to tell, I don't really like to switch planes all that much. As much as I said I do like that style a lot better than anything else. The enemies will always come to you. So it's like I only really do it if I have to. Like if there's a shit ton of enemies and I want to get to the other side, then I'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll just go over here just to get around them. But for the most part, oh yeah, also those explosions will damage you and enemies when a mech dies. So be sure to block when you see them sparking on the ground. This is kind of a weird mix, where right now it's a mixture of like undead soldiers and mechs. It's just a strange combo. But I mean, this game is a strange game, and that's why I love it so much. Oh, see, I was gonna just move to this plane, but we got too close, so the Golden Knight just slashed him. Oh, there's some big guys over here. Golden Knight is conveniently just tossing out of the way. There we go. There we go, up to 3 that time. Getting a little better each time. I'll see that when that guy has have the stuff around his head, like he is right now, you actually regain health while that's happening. So if someone is stunned, it is encouraged you take advantage of that, because they are regaining health. Not always a significant amount, but you know, you just don't want enemies having that advantage. Yeah, I'm losing health quite a bit. I'm gonna, yeah, have you stay out of me. And I'm just gonna spam some fireballs before I die. Might as well use up the MP, because if I die soon, it'll be fully recovered. Usually, those mechs are pretty hard to fight, because that they have like a gun move. That move has some pretty decent range. It's a great medium range attack. Oh. Yep, there we go. I was doing pretty good. Still have 97 lives. On normal, you only have 10. So if you beat the game in 10 lives, you not only do you unlock every time you defeat an enemy, you don't have to beat the game to unlock them. All you gotta do is kill them once in the story mode, and they're unlocked. However, each of the 8 endings has a different final boss, and those are also unlocked, so it's always encouraged that you try your best to beat the game. You cannot unlock everything unless you beat all 8 endings, so you have to beat the game a minimum of 8 times. It's really great to have a story map, so you know how to get there. Oh, now there's demons and a demon lady. Because this game does not have a theme, we have many. Don't be afraid. I rule the Earth Spirits, one of the 2 species Kennen spoke about. I've seen many human battles over the centuries, and you possess something different than those I've seen before. So I'd better tell you this, you were born with the same purpose as we. Kennen did not tell you everything you needed to know. Listen and you shall learn the absolute truth. I will show you real evil. Alright, do we protect the kingdom first? Do we focus on stopping Kennen's soldiers, or do we hear her out? You know, I want to hear this new character out. Tell me more. You're promising me things. Humans, you have grown strong. You are ready to defeat the Sky Spirits. I have something to tell you about the world. All of the creatures in this world were created by a supreme being. This being's sole purpose was to promote war. All of the life forms have been folded into fighting each other so we could have ultimate warriors to serve him. In order to end this vicious cycle, you must defeat the Sky Spirits and ultimately the Sky Beings. Fight for your freedom. So we have officially sided with the Earth Spirits. Warrior in the Light, stage 20. It doesn't feel like 28 stages. So while we were taking a sort of neutral ground so far, we met up with an Earth Spirit Lady. And Earth Spirit Lady told us the truth. Her truth. Because like I said, depending on the choices you make, things could be a lot different. Remember those muscle guys we saw earlier? Yeah, there's like a huge band of them led by like 3 dudes that are all cool characters and have their own storyline, but we've left them behind. There's a lot of potential for Vulgar. Vulgar could literally stay a villain up till the end of the game when he's become an ally right away. He could become a savior. Zur could go on to be like a final boss in like an ultimate form. You could take the side of the Sky Spirits or take the side of the Earth Spirits depending on where you find yourself. Like, there's just so much. Like, as we just saw, I'm on stage 21. I obviously haven't played through 21 stages because you know, you go, the branching isn't just, you know, the next stage is the next number. There's literally like a number of stages, and you know, by putting a number on it, you can keep track of the ones you have and have not done. And the 360 version has a cool way of helping you keep track of that. Because you definitely want to keep track of the decisions you make the times you play through, so that you can choose different decisions the next time. And learn more about the story. Like Lucia, the princess. Sometimes you only encounter her briefly and she gets like 2 lines of dialogue. Other times she's part of the story arc. Like there's so many characters. Serena has, like, as we saw, Han has someone that replaced him as the leader of the Blue Troop. Serena also has someone that replaced her. And we didn't even meet her or learn about her relationship with Vulgar. She's just, that character is not in Guardian Heroes right now. There's, I can count on the top of my head right now at least 5 characters, main characters that play a important role that we did not even encounter. And I'm pretty sure we're nearing the end of the game. And everyone has different outcomes and alliances depending on what happens. It's just goddamn. How do you write a game so well? And it's not even like inconsistent or weird. It's not like those like newer games that have different like decision-making things where you can like tell that things seem a bit awkward. Like, these characters aren't quite reacting realistically based on the choices I made. Like in Until Dawn, for example, a brilliantly written game, by the way. If like a certain character dies early that another character really cares for early in the game, they have to write the character that cares vaguely. Like they can't seem like they missed the person in case that person didn't die. And they can't, but they still have to seem somewhat sympathetic because they lost someone they cared about. It's like, no, you have to write vaguely when you know, leave too many things open. The Mass Effect game as well tries its best to do that. And by the time the third one comes around, it's like, oh yeah, that choice you made, that'll either be a thing or there will be an alternative that results in practically the same thing but with a different name. Whereas Guardian Heroes, not to place this above Mass Effect or anything quite like that, because I mean this is a beat-em-up game, it really does do an excellent job having a whole bunch of different outcomes. Because as you may have noticed, Han, the character I'm playing as, hasn't had a lot of input on the story. He's just around while it's happening. And I think that's the key to making it work, is the decisions, you're not really deciding what happens, you're just deciding where to go while things happen around you. Without the character having a direct influence on the events, you can keep it super open. Now everyone's just gonna get flamed. These enemies are very big. This would be an opportune time to use that. And then sometimes when the game slows down, it's like a little bullet time you get to enjoy. But yeah, a lot of big sprites, a lot of particle effects, a lot of explosions. Not a big help. Once again, these guys, much like the Cyclops, are clearly, you know, just upscaled because they have giant pixels. Odd that they put them next to, like, and you can see it, like, the guy that's in the blue and yellow, the smaller dude, has about the same resolution. And the village god, even though he is simple in colors and design, you can tell that he has a higher pixel count. Just an odd choice. I'm not sure if in the 360 version they redid the larger sprites. I can't quite remember. But I mean, I don't really need to remember because I'm going to be playing that version like literally as soon as I finish this. But yeah, as you can see, when I mentioned earlier how annoying the village god is, if you don't keep up the heat on the village god, and that move too, oh, he just has such good moves. He's definitely one of the harder mini bosses. And now we just got this big oaf. We can just double team him. Oh, I only have 3 HP, Christ. Also, the way experience works is not based on enemies you kill, it's the attacks you land. So if you do juggle an enemy corpse for a while, you absolutely can get more experience for it. Yeah, here's fucking 2 of them. I picked a rough path. Oh, he's doing the big beam. Lock in time. There it is. Well, another interesting thing about that I want to talk about, because I won't be using a magic user. Well, actually, Serena has a magic that does it, but when someone is charging an attack, Randy, for example, has a move kind of like that, but it just shoots a beam forward. If you're about to get hit, or you want to do a smaller version of it, you can actually press the magic button while it's charging to just toss out what you have ready. So I mean, if Randy was charging up his beam, it would be a really wide beam if he managed the whole charge, but if you start charging and then just press Z immediately, you'll get a much smaller beam that comes out much faster and doesn't last as long. So that's a cool little thing of freedom you can have. I'm not super sure if the 2 beams that these guys have done during this battle have been varied in size, but maybe they'll give me a little example. If not, I can do it as Serena, because Serena has a similar move involving ice beams. Oh, just gotta get in there and light them all up. See, I would tell the Golden Knight to go crazy and do his big attack to finish the battle quickly, but as you can see, the fucking Village God, and it's literally just called Village God. That's the name of this mini-boss. It's just super hard. It's super tough to fight. Golden Knight, didn't you know to guard that by now? Alright, who's this player? This guy is I think his name is literally Sky Spirits. I'm sorry to see that you, the Chosen Ones, lead this kind of life. Chosen Ones? Who in the world chose us? Do you think everything that's happened so far is mere luck? Do you think you found the sword by accident? Do you think you met that warrior by accident, or won every battle? Everything was done with the magic concealed in that sword. This has all been planned. We chose you, the best of the raw materials called humans, to be our ultimate warriors. The warrior who led you here is only a guide. We have no more use for you now. I will blow you away like ashes, along with the undead warrior, who was only reborn because we commanded it. So this guy, I'm not super sure, depending on where our invisible alliance meter stands, but sometimes you can either fight him in his human form as well as the Earth Spirits woman in her human form, or if you have absolutely sided with one of them. And I'm not super sure if we have. I think usually there's a trial, because the Earth Spirits lady just told us what was up. Whereas in different conditions, you will go through a trial proving yourself to them and absolutely win their favor, and then just defeat the other person's god form. So I'm not super sure if we'll fight this guy's god form. There's just so many variables, and I can't quite remember all of them. This guy's also pretty cool to fight as. Like, a lot of the enemy characters don't have nearly as much depth as, like, Han, for example. They'll have a couple basic attacks. Like, mini-bosses will be pretty developed. As we saw, Gash is just a mirror of Han. Vulgar has about as much depth as a player character. Unfortunately, he's not playable in story mode. Like, obviously, because that would lead to some complications. Like, making Serena playable is fine. This character is also unlockable for multiplayer, and he's I don't think I'd say he has as much depth as a player character, but quite a bit, considering he's like a second to final boss. He does have the ability to fly and a couple cool abilities and like a dashing attack. And if a fireball doesn't have a target, it will just circle around you. Oh yeah, I guess we just killed him, so we won't be seeing their god form, which are pretty fucking ridiculous. When I was trying to get all the endings on normal mode, it would literally be I would be fighting a god form final boss, and it would be like, okay, I have 1 life left. I'm just gonna let the Golden Knight do everything, stay far away, and shoot fireballs. You chose the wrong materials. You could have been the greatest warriors I have ever created. Well, that's okay. There are still some useful materials. You want to ease the despair in your heart by embracing power. You only follow the path given to you. Come, my warriors. Destroy those who will not follow me, and destroy those useless dead ones. Okay, so Savior Vulgar is the final boss of this one. Vulgar? Darn it, he has nothing to say. So yeah, I think this might be the final boss of this one. Vulgar and his and actually I don't think this is a, well, I mean, you will, once defeating him, you will unlock Vulgar, but this isn't a different Vulgar form, it's literally just a different color palette. As you may have noticed, there was a number of different colored, like goblins, different colored soldiers. Everyone has, I think, 6 different colors at least. And I'll show those off in a second. Well, actually, when the game's over, I'll show that off, and you'll see exactly how cool it is. But yeah, I think this might just be a 2-on-1 with Vulgar. You know, why don't we just tell the Golden Knight to go a little crazy? Also, I failed to mention the Y button. The Y actually cycles through planes. Like, L and R is to move like up and down through planes. But if you're in the back one and you want to move straight to the forward one, Y cycles through them. Like as such. Let's tell him to go crazy. Oh, yeah, let's get him. Oh, he did it. Perfect. Vulgar is very high in speed and attack, so it's perfect timing that that was able to work out. I'm not going to claim perfect skill, but it was very fortunate that that happened. Oh, let's spend some MP. Let's finish him off. With fireballs. Oh, he's dead. I'm just shooting him around me now. Now we're all here. I didn't mean to be his lackey, but I was so miserable. All I believed in was lost. He offered me power. I thought power could solve everything. And there it is. Don't worry, just do what I tell you. Come on, the victor will soon be determined. Your enemy stands before you. No, this is no different from what I've been doing. As long as we're in your clutches, there will never be peace. Hold it, what are you going to do? You humans are strong. You broke the shell surrounding the world which we took for granted, and cut the chains that bound everything. For your courage, I will guide you to Earth. But the battle is not yet over. Evil will bring new warriors. Maybe even evil himself will battle us. But I promise you, when that happens, you have my help. To protect this new world you have won. Those are just some villagers. We didn't even encounter villagers. But there is a level in which villagers are walking around and you can attack them. And that was Guardian Heroes. So that ending was the Savior Vulgar ending, where Vulgar and the Golden Knight both attack God, which was that weird crab thing. There is a ending similar to that, where I think the one where you defeat both the sky and the earth spirits. Once you do that, the god character, instead of choosing Vulgar as the chosen one and saying finish them off, says, I choose all of you as my chosen ones, and I will do what I want with the world. Everyone takes an attack at God and defeats him together. So yeah, it's a little different final bosses for sure. So that was Guardian Heroes on the Sega Saturn. Please stay tuned for the next episode, which, despite this being the Saturn Archives, I'm going to be playing a 360 game, but I assure you, it's very worth it. But before that, let's check out them cool color palettes. Alright, so let's hit up versus mode. Let's go into unlimited time battle. I'm going to set everyone to CPU. We can kind of already see the different colors here. So because I was playing as Han, and I did not unlock anybody because I was playing on easy, if you press, it depends on what button you press when you select them. So I'm going to play as A Han. I'm going to fight against B Han, and C Han, and then X Han, Y Han, and Z Han. And look at all of these different Hans. Let's just pop right into a battle. Oh, I guess despite not unlocking characters, you do unlock stages on easy. Yeah, let's just go with Arena. We only saw Arena briefly. And so like I said, that wasn't a special Vulgar, that was just the white Vulgar. Why can I sometimes see their magic things? Yeah, so there's a bunch of different Hans. There's one original in there. I'm not even playing as the original. I'm playing as the black and gold one. To the right most of the screen that's fighting the brown and blue one with the white hair. Ow. Oh, now it's down to me and the white Han with the red hair. You also do, if you do enough attacking, you do level up as you go. You just don't get restored health for it. Whoop, that's the end of my MPs. As we can see, the second player, Han, didn't do so well. He didn't even get a single level up. He was picked on immediately. You shouldn't challenge a real hero. And of course, they even have their little avatar has the alternate colors too. So that's a lot of work that I just wanted to point out. So let's pop in the 360 version.